Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for joining us this week. My name is Jose Ortiz.
And I'm Mario Benitez. And this week we're talking about the idea of who actually owns October. October is a feel, it's a mood, leading into the spookiest time of the year.
That's right, folks. Spooky season is officially here. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Gigantic. I believe that October is ran by people like John Carpenter and Wes Craven. They had popular movies in the 70s and 80s. All of them were very scary. Me and my family would watch the movies together, and I used to cuddle up and eat candy. those are my favorite memories of Halloween. Intro done.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you, guys.
See you next week.
See you
We
next-
should just release that.
See you on Christmas for the Christmas special.
We should just release that, bro.
Me and my family used to watch Halloween together.
And it was scary.
After trick-or-treating, the man with the white mask was very scary every night.
Yo, bro, I told you about this before. yeah. That when I was in high school, we had to write, it was 9th grade. We had to write this, a paper about Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, our favorite parts of Halloween. And, bro, this kid, so my friend at the time fucking grabbed his paper and he read it. And he spelled Frankenstein. He didn't put an S. Bro, that's
Frankenstein.
shit. He's like, my favorite thing of Halloween is Frankenstein. Yo, bro, that shit fucking... Yo, for years we would say that to him, yo.
Yo, that's mad
For
funny.
years. I forgot who took the paper, actually, bro. But he read it. He said Frankenstein and one other word that was just misspelled. But I'd never forget Frankenstein, bro.
What's Frankenstein's wife's name?
Mrs. Stein? I don't know.
Mrs. Stein.
Frankenstein. Is he Jewish?
Stein?
Is he? I never thought about that.
Frankenstein.
Is he?
That's hilarious.
Is he though?
Oh, Lord.
Like, was the character, what's his name? The doctor that brought him to life?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it was Dr. Frankenstein, no? And then the monster is just a monster.
Yeah, I mean, everybody always thinks that
Frankenstein is Frankenstein.
Yeah.
No, it's Dr. Frankenstein. Have you read that book?
No.
Bro, I went back to that book, you're supposed to read certain books in fucking high school and shit. A lot of them I ignored because I was just like, it just didn't interest me in the time.
Yeah.
But there's that book is fucking actually awesome, and to realize that when it was written and this is a new idea,
Yeah.
and how people are probably reading, the way if you watch a fuking horror film,
Yeah.
and it could get you a little tense.
Yeah.
People are like, yo, people probably hid the book. like, yo, I don't even want to. They don't want to read the next page.
Yeah,
It was
they
a
were
totally different experience.
At the edge of their page.
My favorite part of that book, though, and I wish I could quote it, man, but there's a part where the Frankenstein's monster is talking to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling him about how he was abandoned and everything, and how he was getting used to the world, and how everybody was looking at him and viewed him as this monster. Mm-hmm. And he talks about how he came across fire for the first time, and how he never felt something so good, but that he didn't understand that something so good could be so painful, because as he got closer, kept feeling better, and then he put his hand in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he realized how he's basically comparing people to this fire and learning about the world. And it's the way it's written for the time, genius, yeah.
I'll for sure take your word for it. Like that. I'll for sure. I'm gonna live vicariously through you. You know what I mean? I mean, when it comes to reading Halloween stuff, I can't think of anything specifically. I used to read a bunch of shit though.
Yeah.
Just specific, not specific, but Fear Street books, Goosebumps books.
Oh yeah, dude.
Those are just always scary, all year round.
Yeah, those are R.L. Stein's shit was huge at the time.
Yeah, that was Stephen King
the
for
television,
children.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Stephen King for children.
He came
That's
to our
perfect.
school.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he came to PS75.
Yeah, I didn't get him to get signed nothing, bro.
Nah,
I
that
brought
wasn't
some
happening.
bullshit ass book.
I didn't even have a Goosebumps book yet. I read them shits from libraries, and in school they had a few, but I didn't have one. Like, my mom wasn't trying to spend money on that shit.
Yeah, you go to the book fair, shit is like $40 at the
Because
time.
some books were like, what, 15, $20 a piece?
Maybe a little less, but it felt like that.
Them shits were fire, though.
I feel
Mad
like $20 is a
colorful.
lot for a book now.
15, $20?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get a digital version for like $5.
I hate when they sell digital books expensive. It's like, my man, this ain't even, my book could die on me at any moment. Like, that don't even make sense. Like, I'm gonna be reading and my book died, bro. Like, that shit is not cool. But talking about stories and shit like that, there's definitely like, even if you're not too aware of their like writing, right, or and shit like that, there's people that, you know, this whole thing is about the idea of who owns October, right? Because I
Yeah.
feel like October's kind of like a feeling, you know.
I think for me, I mean, what do you think? Who do you think owns October, in your opinion? Or like what dominates the month of October in terms of like entertainment?
I think there's like a staple in each, right?
Uh-huh.
So so there's obviously like novelists, right? You could go, even though Stephen King might have written some of the best like horror books ever, I don't think he actually owns the idea of October in writing, right?
He's just a hard writer
yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
It fits into Halloween, but it's not Halloween specific.
No, I think October, like when I do think of writing and shit, it kind of does feel like Edgar Allan Poe. Like,
When it comes to writing,
yeah, like I think everything he's done has a hint of that. Like, it almost feels like even his poems feel like they're written in a fucking like
Yeah.
cold,
real dark.
brisk fall.
I mean, it also is, it doesn't help that his house was a main attraction.
Yeah,
In the Bronx. Like
he lived in the Bronx. Right?
lived in the BX, right?
Imagine
That was the BX.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people would go to that block or whatever during Halloween. Like, it was like a spooky little adventure and shit. So I mean, that makes sense. When it comes to, for me, entertainment wise, I think just film is a big deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, you got the Halloween series,
Easy.
which is like pretty crazy that they just went with the name of the holiday.
yeah, yeah,
It's like you never like you have A Christmas Carol,
yeah. You get a
A
Christmas
Christmas
story. Yeah, it was
You don't
it's
got Christmas. Easter,
Christmas.
Thanksgiving. Well, you got Thanksgiving.
Oh
but
yeah,
you
that
got
was
her off.
recently.
But that's kind of like pulling from that whole idea. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But just to name it Halloween and have it be like, oh, this is even that storyline isn't what you would expect. Like now, I feel like if a movie came out today and we never had that original Halloween and it was a new series called Halloween, it would be more like something surrounding the holiday, like in
Yes.
terms of like kind of like Trick or Treat.
Yeah, the presents. of
Yeah,
it,
like
yeah.
movies like Trick or Treat that are like anthology based and have like several different spooky things happening on that holiday, versus this story where it's like a guy chasing his sister and just committing atrocities all across this like little town.
You could have named it Michael,
Could have named it Michael. Yeah,
and like it could have worked still.
yeah.
You know, and this
Could have
the
named
setting.
that. You could have named that shit anything,
Yeah,
and it would have been good because that shit was just done right, man.
yeah,
But yeah, I think that in turn for me, who owns Halloween or who owns the month of October, it's probably gonna be like the world. I can't say specific, but like for me, it would be in the world of film. Like there's so many slasher films, so many like people gravitate to like that's why those apps like Shudder and like the horror section of every app that you could imagine becomes so like
yeah. So watched.
yeah,
It's like,
so watch because they have like huge selections of these horror movies, whether it be Pumpkinhead, Maniac Cop, Puppet Master, Child's Play, Halloween, the Jason, the Friday the 13th series, Nightmare on Elm Street. None of those are specific to Halloween except for Halloween, I think. Right?
Yeah, what's cool about it, I guess, is because like it's also you think about at least
Or
in the
maybe
East,
Pumpkinhead. I'm just going off the top of my
that's just a
dome right
pumpkin
now.
though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kind of alludes to it.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I really don't remember that storyline well enough to say if that everything that every B-rated horror film you could think of, Sleepaway Camp, you know what I'm saying?
Pet Cemetery,
Pet Cemetery, Basket
Phantasm.
Case. Yeah,
Yo, people don't remember Phantasm used to scare the shit out of me, bro.
yeah,
Phantasm, the orbs, the
Yeah.
old ass dude that would throw them fucking orbs.
yeah. That was creepy.
That wasn't like I think they made like 4 or 5 parts too.
Yeah,
That old dude was fucking spooky as fuck.
you got the Hellraiser series, which is like wild dark.
I think it's because like films owns it because it's like everybody's like coming. You got to think about it, it's the transition of months, right?
Yeah.
You're starting to stay in more.
Mm-hmm.
It's more you stay at home, watch a film.
Yeah, I mean
know?
it's that season where, things are starting to cool down. You see the leaves on the ground. I mean the way it's crazy because the way Halloween's always been portrayed in film. As a kid, that shit to me was like, damn, I want to see that. I actually got to see it finally, like when I was already an adult. I decided it was me, Gabe, our boy Jeff. We went to Chicago during Halloween.
Yeah.
And Gabe ended up spending like $700 on an outfit. We had a cap of like $20. Like, yo, we're gonna go to this little get together that our friend is
What did
throwing.
he fucking go as?
He bought like a pirate hat, a parrot, and like a claw or some shit.
Or he really went as a fucking pirate.
Nah, he was just picking up things like, random little shit, like throwing together an outfit.
Yeah, all...
And the girl at the front counter was like, okay, that'll be 100. She said a crazy number. She said a crazy number. And Gabe was just like, how much? He didn't want to go back off the line and like put shit back. He was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just cop it. And he got it, but Jeff had like a plastic chain and he went as Rick Ross because Jeff is already big and bald and shit with a beard. So he just threw on a chain. That shit was like $6. He threw on a chain and became Rick Ross for Halloween. Me, I bought like a fucked up wig or something, a beard. I had like a big homeless man beard. It said like that was. I'm not trying to diss homeless people. It like literally said the shit on the packaging. It said like homeless
house impaired. That's what it is, right?
But it said, it had the marking on the package. I bought that. It was like $10 or some shit. Nobody spent that much money, and it was like a pretty
pretty easy peasy.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. But then
all that shit adds up though. You go get a little one thing, two things.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that was my first time experiencing Halloween outside of New York City. Like I got to see houses decorated. You know what I mean? Like
Halloween, if it's hot, gotta suck, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I know people are gonna say, "Oh, you can see houses decorated in New York." That's your reality, brother. Like my mom didn't leave. My family. You remember when we used to go trick or treating as kids? Our family wasn't leaving the Upper West. We had no need. You know what I mean? Like Upper West Side back then. I don't know what that shit's like now. I don't even know if trick or treating is still fire or not. But back then, you used to hit them buildings on West End. And hit those buildings along Broadway or whatever, like the residential buildings. Like people used to really go in and allow you up to each floor, and people would have baskets of candy. And like be out. You'd see doors decorated. Maybe some little decorations on the building, but it's a fucking building.
Yeah,
it's not your
live
house.
in the city.
Yeah, so it's the city. It's not like I'm not going to fucking what's that shit like some like fucking Crown Heights and shit like that to see. No, I'm not doing that. So, ever since young, it was like just keeping it local or whatever. If it wasn't there, it was Washington Heights because my cousins lived in the Heights.
Yeah, you would do like the 40-block radius.
Yeah, my cousins from my other side of my family lived in the Heights on 191st. So often it was like we do that and then come down here or vice versa or whatever. But yeah, I saw that shit. I'm like, damn, this shit is real. Like they got pumpkins on the stairs out here. Skeletons in the trees and shit.
What state do you think like has the best representation for Halloween? Is it because of New York? Because we here.
That what?
Do you think New York City owns Halloween when it comes to it?
Nah, I don't think so, man. For me,
yeah,
I know Halloween in New York City is always a hot spot. We got the craziest parade.
The parade, yeah.
But it's also where a lot of wild shit happens. Halloween is the night that you don't want to be out. Like, even now, like, they'll tell you, like, that shit's a hot night. Like, don't be outside. Because it's kind of like the holidays out here in general, whether it be Halloween, New Year's, for whatever reason, is a big one. 4th of July, motherfuckers get bored with firecrackers, just start shooting people and shit.
Yeah, guns go up.
Yeah, like, every holiday out here is pretty, like, as it gets colder, the holidays get more and more dangerous. Like, oh, New Year's? No. Be careful. Don't be out there walking around too late. People, like, robbing people and doing all sorts of fucked up shit. So, New York, I think, is definitely a dangerous place on Halloween. But when it comes to owning it, I think that shit, like, the look and feel of what I remember seeing in movies. Even now, you watch movies like Trick or Treat, you watch the old Halloween movies, some of the, Nightmare on Elm Streets or whatever. There's a very different feel. Like that shit feels like it's the suburbs.
Yeah.
Because it's the idea that this foul shit could be happening in like these quiet areas where people are just like carefree and don't really have that type of shit happen. In the big city, you kind of expect it. That's why like Jason Takes Manhattan wasn't really surprising. That shit.
No.
Like he was just kind of walking around Times Square and shit. And he didn't even like alert nobody. People just watching this motherfucker like act stupid.
Mad people walk by him, bro. Like
yeah, like what the fuck? There's a scene there where he walks by a bunch of kids and like crushes their radio. You remember that? In Jason Takes Manhattan, he like crushes their radio and they look at him like he's crazy and shit. But it's just like mad comedy. Like what the fuck is Jason doing walking around in Manhattan? But yeah, for me, that's the look and feel of Halloween has always been like, kind of like that eerie suburban feel,
Yeah, when I think of October though, I don't even think it's just Halloween. Like, yeah, that dominates it, but I think there's just other things to it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like that's why I bring up like even some of the writers and shit.
Yeah,
'cause it takes you to like just like I guess it's just the fall, bro. The transition things dying.
I think the proper way to discuss that is just like it has to be in genres.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to writing, who owns October? It would be probably Edgar Allan Poe, like you mentioned, or Stephen King.
Yeah.
We know who it is when it comes to music. There's just
who
no
would you
debate.
say? Who sang the Monster Mash? The Monster Mash?
I mean, that's a big one, but bro, I'm gonna have
it's gotta
to go
be Thriller.
with Thriller.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's Thriller, bro.
Nah, that's
that's the one music video that no matter what high definition television comes out in the future, that video will be remastered to match that television.
Yeah.
We could have 12K and Thriller will be remastered.
boom, boom, boom,
You seen the 4K remaster of that video?
That's not even the song.
That shit looks crazy, bro. It looks like it was filmed last week.
Yeah.
It don't look like a video that dropped in the 80s. Looks crazy.
Dude, I haven't seen I like the older look, though.
Nah, bro, that
Because
shit
it reminds me of, like, Return of the Living Dead camera style.
No, but it looks incredible. Like, it looks crazy. It goes to show, like, how in-depth they went with that detail in the makeup. Like, everything still looks really good.
Yeah.
Everything still looks crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely the number one. That video. I would say more the video than the song.
The music video, without the music video, wouldn't have hit the same.
Nah.
That music...
So?
What?
You think so? All his music was hitting back then.
No,
bro.
his music was hitting, but bro, that music video
is what took it to the
music
next.
video and the song are just a pair.
It's like very
because
iconic.
The second that music video dropped and you had that break where they all start dancing and you hear that live the live mix of their feet on the ground.
Yeah, you
like,
hear man.
You hear them all breathing. all that shit you hear. Yeah.
Yeah, like costumes.
Like, all that shit hit really hard. So when the song would come on in any club, any house party, anywhere that you were, people wanted there was always them cats that wanted to jump into the song. They thought they knew the whole dance and shit.
You always get one person do it. Yeah. The little shimmy. You always gotta get one person doing that shit.
Nah, but I mean, look at the parade, bro. The parade, a huge part of the parade is there are like a few hundred people who get together as a part of the parade.
And they do the dance?
And they do the dance.
Oh, shit.
But the song replays over and over, so they're just walking downtown for a while long doing that dance. Like walking with the
one
parade.
too many.
Yeah, my ankles will be swollen after that shit. But nah, yeah, like, I mean, when it comes to music, for me, it's Michael Jackson that owns that shit.
Yeah, that has to. What else is even can be up there?
He had Vincent Price on the record too, no?
Oh yeah, doing the intro.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I mean, come on, it don't get spookier than that. And then he's a werewolf and shit, and like he walks away with Shorty, like she's done.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the dark part of that video. Like she's done, right? Like, it's over for her. It's a wrap for her.
This would be a continuation.
And that's a weird video. Like, it's a fourth wall break. Like, Michael Jackson's in the theater watching a movie with a girl, and the people in the movie is him.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's watching himself on screen.
Yeah. It is like that's very ahead of his time. I never thought about it like
Yeah.
that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely. But what I don't even know what else you would put up there. Is there any other song that got kind of like jumps into that row?
I mean,
Not as popular, but
you have like
that.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
You know that like a lot of that soundtrack is just.
Yeah,
You
people
know,
love that shit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. There are some horror enthusiasts like our boy Lou that we had on here recently. You know, and they'll tell you, you go to the certain part, like certain songs are like, we're missing a lot. You know what I'm saying?
No, for
There's
sure.
so many. There's so many, but when it comes in terms of just utter popularity, like some shit you could just play, I could throw on Thriller in like fucking Japan and watch people have the same reaction.
Yeah, no, everybody's gonna.
You know, India, fucking, you know, Africa. You could play that shit anywhere and people know what it is. Like, so I think that song. It's safe to say that that song is probably the most.
That song probably did a lot for the genre of horror, though. You think about that, like, which is interesting, because like I imagine not a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of people that just don't watch anything scary. You know?
Yeah, there's some people like staying away from it.
Yeah, there's people that just don't they don't like to get scared, like, you know, and I can imagine that shit got them into something like, oh shit,
Yeah.
the theatrics of it, you know.
Paranormal Activity and all these movies that like there's movies that reference like that song directly.
Yeah,
Like I said Paranormal Activity, but I don't think it was Paranormal Activity that did that. I forget what horror it was that I recently watched over and they referenced like Thriller directly.
oh really?
Like, there's a lot of movies who do that and like reference like it's kind of set in the real world or whatever. And or in our timeline, like where they reference a lot of the stuff.
Pop culture shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you have some, you know, like if you take a series like The Walking Dead, right? Which is also something you'd associate with horror and like October. Like a lot of shows start their season right when the horror season is coming. You know, like October, late September, early October, or whatever. In The Walking Dead, they don't call zombies.
no,
They're walkers.
yeah,
So in their universe, zombies aren't a thing.
no,
We just know zombies as what they are, but in that world, it's not like they've ever heard of that word.
no,
They
no,
don't
no.
ever use it. So it's kind of like you have two worlds of horror where there's like set in the real world and then set in like its own
In its
fictional
own fictional place.
Yeah.
For sure. You're making your old world. Speaking of television, when you think about October, what comes to mind?
I'm gonna tell you what comes to mind when it comes to October, man, and it might strike a nerve with some people, but me personally, what I miss about television, like the silver screen, was that it didn't matter if it was Power Rangers, Boy Meets World, Family Matters, Full House, Step by Step, you know, any cartoon, Animaniacs, Eat the Cat, Doug, whatever it was. When October came around, there were Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
Like the whole tone of like the channel would change after a certain point. Once it hit us, like you had the fall lineup, and then after the fall lineup, all the commercials turned into like spooky season and like Dunkin' Donuts ghoulish donut commercials and shit.
Yeah.
Everything like, you know, cereal commercials like Count Chocula was now like giving like Halloween flashlights and shit like that, you know? Like it was kind of marketed in every way. Like the only thing I really didn't see it with was clothing, you know, on TV. I didn't see shit having to do with like clothes when it came to Halloween.
Buy these Jabot black and orange jeans.
Buy these spooky Timberlands.
They're pumpkin colored Tim.
Pumpkin colored.
Now to match your pumpkin colored do rag. Yeah, I had pumpkin colored Tims.
Instead of a tree, it's a bat on the side of the shit.
Yeah, that would be fire actually.
But,
I had orange Tims.
yo, oh my god!
Back in the day?
I had. Actually, I didn't have orange tips. I had green ones.
Oh
I
yeah.
had the green suede joints. Them shits got
Oh.
ruined. Like,
My shit's got body too.
but yeah. For me, that's what I think about when it comes to television and Halloween. Like, I would see all these creepy episodes. Like whenever even today, when you see shows that are in syndication, like The Fresh Prince or whatever it is, or when they play on certain channels, you'll find that when it comes to this time of year, they kind of line it up so that those episodes are airing, and
Yeah.
they have like the scary, like maybe the family goes to like a haunted mansion and all this spooky shit starts happening. Like they had that approach, those commercials.
I
Those
wonder if now
episodes.
is because like I mean I don't watch enough TV to say, but so much way of media is taken in now. It's very
It's done.
direct, so it's like even with seasons of shows, it's not necessarily like if you're watching stuff streaming,
Hmm.
it's not coming out at that time. You
Yeah,
know,
it's not the same.
it's not being made the same
Yeah,
trajectory
like
to even do
I could
that.
see certain shows still do it. Even shows like Modern Family. Like I watch that show. I find that shit mad funny. But shows like Modern Family will do it. Before they went off the air, they had that their lineup was set so that they could do that. They knew it was
Yeah,
gonna air at a certain time, maybe a week before Halloween, a week before Thanksgiving, a week before Christmas.
and they'll
So
actually set it up that
they
way.
set it up that way. But when you have streaming, it doesn't really make a difference
Nah.
because you're gonna get like 10 episodes. Most times you're gonna get 10 episodes straight
And you're
away.
gonna watch that shit on a Tuesday,
You're gonna watch that shit on a Tuesday when
on the same day it drops.
or maybe late. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah,
not the same, man. I
it's
feel like
totally not the same.
yeah, and it's like I'm not trying to be the old guy preaching about this shit, but it's definitely not. It feels like there's no interest in it, or
Yeah,
almost like no. It's like it's more of an adult thing now. I feel like before it was aimed toward everybody. Like kids especially, whether it be cereal, candy, fucking, certain video games. Maybe there were times where they even showed ads for regular shit, but it was just the music was changed to something
yeah.
like that. It was kind of geared toward that. Now it doesn't feel like that with social media and shit like that.
No, it's
Like,
totally different.
yeah, it'll be weird. It'll be like I'd be shocked if I was looking at YouTube and saw an ad for like spooky season Starbucks. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Come get these spooky Munchkin donuts.
yeah, I mean that shit used to be real.
Yeah,
So that's what I think about. Like,
I think about television to me for like October. I always I go to like Tales from the Crypt, obviously.
mm-hmm.
Tales from the Crypt, most spooky intro. Puppet. Like that shit used to be horrifying.
Yeah, nah.
That little laugh. I wish I actually had that fucking
Tales from the Crypt was
puppet.
the shit.
Yeah.
You
Was
used to watch
Tales
that?
from the Crypt? You ever
What?
seen it?
Yeah, the creepy skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the one where maybe I'm confusing it with something else. So is there an episode where he has the gargoyle?
No,
No, that's Tales from
that's
the Dark
Tales from the
Side.
Dark Side. That's my favorite one.
That's Tales from the Dark Side.
That's with my man Ajax from the Warriors.
Yeah.
James Remar.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a fucking creepy
You
one.
promised you never tell.
Yeah.
She flips
Turns into-
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that shit is
That's
fire.
a fucking Tales from the Dark Side. Was the shit.
Um,
Tales from the Crypt though, I can't remember like specific. I'm mixing them up with Creep Show episodes
yeah.
and Tales from the Dark
Well,
Side. show.
all right. Well, Tales from the Crypt. Two of my favorite episodes ever was one, the teenage dude that was a basketball player, and he gets sent to live with his uncle after his I think his mom passed away or something, and he gets sent to live with his uncle who is like his only living kin, and they send him like to another state to live with him, but his uncle's like an asshole who runs like a funeral home, and he's mad cheap, and he fucking hates his nephew for whatever reason, and he's like, oh yeah, well I guess you could stay here. He's like, there's a slab you could lay down downstairs. He has his son sleeping, his nephew sleeping on like the same slabs that they would fucking do, work
Oh,
on
yeah.
work on the bodies, and at one point he kills his nephew, I believe, and when he's about to put him into a coffin, he realizes that he's too tall for the coffin, so rather than spend money on a bigger coffin for him, he just cuts his feet off so that he could fit inside.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, and then like he ends up getting haunted by his nephew, who
Yeah.
starts walking around like he's following him, and he has no feet, and he's just like the zombie walking with crutches and a basketball. It's fucking bugged out. And second episode would be this dude who starts working on a fucking working like he's doing woodwork with a bunch of dudes in like the mountains or whatever, and he's like he's a fucking lumberjack, and he's like a pretty boy, young dude who just kind of jumps on the scene and is like doesn't know shit. He's young, don't know nothing really. All the other dudes are older than him, but their boss is a straight dickhead. Like their boss is an asshole, and the boss finds out that that young dude and his wife had an affair, and my man just fucking wows out on him and like hits him with an axe, and he doesn't kill him, but he takes his fucking vision, and this young dude can't see anymore, and everybody who works there knows that it's this dude's wife's fault. Like, yo, she does that shit to everybody. She tried to, she got this young dude sprung, and now you taking it out on him. You ruined this young kid's life because your wife's a hoe type shit. Like, what the fuck? So, they end up coming up with a plan to get back at the husband, and they end up putting both the husband and the wife in some tree trunks, and the scene is pure daylight. They're like out in the middle of the fucking woods, and they're telling this kid who's still injured, has like a bandage around his head, shit's still bleeding, he can't see anything. They're like, yeah, kid, don't worry, you're gonna be back on, you're healing up right now, but you're gonna do all right. Here, let's give him an axe. Let's see what he could do. Even if he can't see, it's fine. Like, they put an axe in his hand, and they're telling him like what direction to swing it in, and he starts cutting the axe, not knowing that their bodies are in there, and the shit's so loud that he can't hear them screaming, and their mouths are muffled. So he's cutting the tree, but there's mad blood.
That's dark. Yeah, that's a dark episode.
He's cutting the tree, and there's mad blood spraying in his face, and he's like, hey guys, I think I'm really starting to get the hang of this. And all the dudes are standing around like, and they're all covered in blood. Like, they're all maniacs.
Yo, yeah.
And they're all watching the fucking husband get disemboweled and like cut to pieces and shit. And they're just with it. They're all tired of this motherfucker. So they're cool with it. They're just all cheering him on, and that's how the shit ends. With just like these dead bodies in a trunk and all the dudes cheering and shit.
Yeah, that was Tales from the Crypt, right?
That's Tales
yeah, that's
from the
fucking
Crypt.
wild.
I went off for a little bit, but that's just what it is.
No,
bro.
yeah, of course.
Those episodes were the shit for me.
Do you remember the movie that the guy, he comes to the house and the demons are trying to get everybody, and they had to put the blood at the door?
That was called, what was it? Tales from the Dick.
Demon Night.
Tales from the Dick.
Tales from the Dick.
Because I'm thinking Crypt and Demon.
Not Tales from the Dick. Yeah, that would be funny. Like, yeah, that's gonna be a new porno series. Tales from the Dick. It's gonna be like, like creepy, fucking hookups. Tales from the Dick. It's just my
spooky sex.
It's just my dick talking. Put the wig on it.
You sure got blue contacts?
Hello, kitties. Yeah, that movie was fucking, those demons in that movie.
It was Demon Night, you said.
Demon
right?
Night, yeah.
Okay.
And they were like hunchback.
Yeah.
Like, then you had the guy, motherfucker comes with the blood.
Yeah.
You gotta seal the doors.
Yeah.
Such a simple concept, but I remember that. I saw that in theaters as a child.
Yeah.
That was, I don't even know why. Like.
Man, I mean, since we're on the topic of films that like really spook people, yo.
Television.
Or, on television. You also had shows like when it came to kids, or like Halloween type content geared at children. You had the Goosebumps series. You had Are You Afraid of the Dark? You had Eerie, Indiana.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh man, Eerie, Indiana was the shit.
People watched it. I never watched it.
Bro, I've seen that shit just as much as I've watched like the Twilight Zone.
What's the one Nickelodeon?
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah,
I know that shit like the back of my hand, bro. I used to love watching that.
The candle goes out.
What's the show? The two twins, the girls.
The show with the two twins, Tia and Tamara.
Where there's one.
The mirror.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So creepy when the guy comes out.
Yeah. That was you know what's funny? I watched that shit like 2 months ago. That exact episode with Tia and Tamara, where it's just one girl, and then her sister plays the evil version of her. Yeah. My favorite episode of that was The Tale of the Pinball Wizard. There's this dude that just was addicted to playing video games, and his boss at this like little shop that they used to sell like antique games kept telling him like, yo, stay away from that game. when you run the shop and I'm not here, I don't want you to play that. But he just couldn't listen. And the dude just started playing while he was away, got caught up. Like, kind of like you would right now, playing like a fucking Fortnite or GTA 5 with your friends. He just gets caught up for hours, and then he realizes that he's stuck in the game.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, and the last shot of it is that you see the escalator. Like, he saves the girl, and he thinks he won, and then he goes to, like, leave, and he looks at the top of the escalator, and there's a huge pinball about to come down and kill them. And they just look up at it, and then they hear laughing. And when they look up, you see the owner of the store looking down at them because they're in the pinball machine. And the store owner's looking down at them like, oh, you just couldn't listen. And, like, telling him, like, you're stuck forever, pretty much. And that shit just ends that way. That shit'll fuck you up as a kid. I stood away from a Nintendo till, like, a day later. I was back on that shit, like, 2
One
days
night.
later. Yeah.
One
like,
evening.
man, fuck that. That shit ain't gonna happen to me, bro. Come on,
You
man.
need a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Palate cleansers are real. We watch like something scary.
Then you gotta
I
go watch
I gotta
something
go watch
jolly.
something.
Watch cartoons after, bro.
Yeah, you like I gotta go watch fucking.
Turn on the lights, throw on the news or
Animaniacs
some
right
shit.
now. Yeah. Turn on the news. It's just more horrific shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who, if you think about October in general, right? Who would you say if you needed one representative? Not just it could be horror. It's not just necessarily horror.
Mm-hmm.
Just to feel. Who you think actually owns it in your head? Is it like a monster figure? Is it a novelist? Is it a filmmaker? Is it a if you had one
If there was,
representative?
yeah, all right, pretty much. Let's put it this way: if there was one universal symbol or something you could show someone that would automatically tell them this is Halloween related,
Yeah, or October. It doesn't have to be Halloween.
for me, I'm gonna go
It's a
with
field,
a
you know?
bat.
A bat.
Think about
yeah.
it. A
A
bat.
bat is good.
Like, a bat is related to, like, it's always associated with Halloween. It's on little plastic candy bags for kids. The bat sound of bats flying away is always like, oh, it's associated with, like, you think a big castle, nighttime lightning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't think the spider challenges
You
the
got a
bat?
baseball bat. I was like, what?
Oh, no. Like, I'm a bat, a flying bat.
A
You know what
bat,
I mean?
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's associated with vampires.
yeah, like associated with vampires. It's associated with just like
Are
vampires?
vampires an October thing?
I don't
Would you
know.
have to
I
put
don't
it like
know.
Dracula in there?
I feel like that's something. I don't know.
I feel like that's more wintry. Like I feel like Dracula.
I feel like that. I mean, being that I was a vampire like fucking 80 times as a kid.
Yeah, you were a vampire.
I was a vampire.
A ton of
I mean,
times.
let's be real though. Or a witch. Every little girl was a fucking witch.
Yeah.
At least 3 times as a kid. When your parents really didn't want to put no fucking effort into your costume, tú le vas como una bruja. That was it. Because there's green face paint and just a fucking shitty 99-cent store hat.
Yeah.
The broom is dumb. I mean, think about it. It's a pretty easy outfit to throw together. I could be a witch tomorrow for no reason. Like, easy. Like, you have those pieces in your house.
Yeah.
Like, you could be a witch.
A modern day witch will be like a Swiffer. Like
A vacuum cleaner.
a
and shit.
fucking Swiffer jet.
No. Like, anybody could be a witch on Halloween, and it's easy to do. Same thing with Dracula or a vampire, like white face paint, a little bit of red blood. They used to sell them kits in the 99-cent store and in all like
Easy.
Loves and Woolworth,
Yeah.
where it was like $5 and it had the little shitty plastic teeth that go over your teeth, and it had the colors red, white, black, and it just a little shitty brush, and your mom would be forced to put that shit on your face. Easy.
So all right, we're gonna do the October rundown of representation.
All right.
This is where the point of this. So, as a figure, you would go a bat.
I'm gonna say it's between a bat and a tarantula.
That's what that would be mine, and I would go more the bat
Okay.
because I never seen a tarantula turn into any other horror icon.
True. A
Yeah.
bat is a lot of shit. Yeah.
A bat. All right, who owns October for monsters? Would it be Frankenstein?
I don't know, man. That's hard. For
I would
monsters,
have to say Frankenstein.
you wouldn't say werewolf?
Nah, I think Frankenstein, the bolts, I think this the look, the iconic, Frankenstein's monster. and
It's. I
shit.
mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I would go either with between Frankenstein and a werewolf, just because the howling moon.
Yeah, that is a lot too.
Think about. I mean, even in that movie, I said it like 3 times in this podcast today, but Trick or Treat has that whole fucking part of the film where all those girls start converting into werewolves and eating the dude and eating a bunch of people. They eat all
Yeah.
the men or whatever. So that's kind of like something that's still,
Yeah, that's still relevant.
the idea of a human being transforming into a monster and then like eating somebody. You have VHS with the succubus, the young girl that turns into a fucking, a succubus and
Oh, yeah.
murders everybody.
Picks him up.
Like the idea that like somebody who came off as harmless or that wasn't like turns into this being, that's pretty spooky. But yeah, Frankenstein is up there. For
All
sure.
right. So who you think owns as a director?
Wes Craven.
Would it be Wes Craven or would it be John Carpenter?
I'm gonna say Wes Craven, bro. I mean, it's hard because all right, Wes Craven is just Wes Craven. Listen to
Yeah.
the name. He has a name that's built for Halloween.
John
John Carpenter sounds like
Carpenter
that could
named
be a
John?
lot of people.
Yeah.
He could do a lot of things.
What about Hitchcock?
Alfred Hitchcock, I mean, you would say that classically, but I still don't think his
He
biggest.
should. He was like that 24/7.
Yeah.
Like if I said Alfred Hitchcock represents Halloween like on a grand scale, I would be forced to say so does Rod Serling.
Oh yeah, you
Because
would
Rod
have to.
Serling had a lot of spooky shit that you could put into Halloween with the Twilight Zone.
That's a solid top 5 to be be
Yeah.
around though.
Yeah,
To
I mean,
me-
but Wes Craven. Listen to the name,
Yeah.
Wes Craven.
Nah, Tim Burton definitely. He's not. He has.
He
a
just
lot
did the
of
Nightmare
awesome-
Before Christmas.
So he does a lot of those weird, dark.
Yeah, Coraline,
It's true.
Beetlejuice, but I still don't.
Edward Scissorhands.
I don't relate it to.
Yeah, it doesn't
October.
really scream Halloween for me. Nightmare Before Christmas, it just having the name Christmas in it made it a Christmas movie
Yeah,
immediately for me.
I do
But
think.
people watch that shit on Halloween all the time. Like right now, there's a Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas exhibit at the Botanical Garden
Oh, that's cool.
because of the month of October.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Tim
kind of
Burton definitely fits into October. Like,
now he does. It's just he does. It's just I guess we're talking like who
but
owns
who owns it? That's where
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to.
yeah, who owns it.
So between us, I would say Carpenter and
Wes
Craven.
Craven.
All right.
Carpenter and Craven. For me,
I guess
yeah.
it's a toss up. It depends what films you really appreciate the most.
It's just that Wes Craven got a name that's like anytime you hear the name Wes Craven, it's like, oh, there's about to be some shit.
Yeah,
And like Nightmare on Elm Street wasn't necessarily Halloween, but it was, Freddy Krueger is one of those. Like think about it, he represents everything that's dark about. You don't want to fall. You can't fall asleep. That's the hardest shit to not do.
yeah,
Like that's it feels kind of like he's someone everybody wants to be on Halloween, but the films don't always represent Halloween. It's
yeah.
like there's just he's a threat all fucking year round.
You know who I gotta put up just as overall an artist? What's the guy's name that did Hellraiser?
The artist,
Yeah, the director.
fuck, who was that?
What's the director's name? How could I forget this, bro? He wrote awesome
Yeah,
books
I don't know
too.
why.
If you
Clive.
Clive Barker,
Clive Barker,
Bro,
Yeah,
Clive Barker.
Clive Barker, that's a big one.
he's
too.
but if you read his books too, he has some scary like cool novels, like the Thief of Always, the Aberrat series, which is like aimed at children, but with like these like creepy ass like the way they break it down.
Yeah.
I think it should be fucking brought to life because it reminds me of like Guillermo del Toro shit. Guillermo del Toro, another one,
I
who's working
mean-
his way up. But I still give it to either
Yeah.
John Carpenter or Wes Craven.
Yeah.
Everybody else is honorable mentions
Yeah,
for.
Clive Barker, Wes Craven, Carpenter. Those, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no for me personally.
Yeah. All right. Music, we already decided that was Michael
It's
Jackson.
Mike Jack, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
It's
for
Thriller.
sure. And if you had one person though
Mhm.
to represent October, who would that be? Who's the top of the list?
One person?
Yeah, from everything, or a figure, or Just, anything. For me, I would have to say I would go with Edgar Allan Poe for his work because I think it solidified everybody else's things down the line. If you read all his shit, you would be like, oh shit, this is like it hits all the marks of what that month is.
One person to represent the whole Halloween.
Either a figure, it could be a monster, it could be you could pick the bat. The bat could be the head of who owns October.
Fuck, that's hard. One person. I can't think.
Would you put up Wes Craven and his work?
Nah.
That could be.
Nah, there gotta be something. It's like my brain is just, One person represent the whole Halloween.
October.
The whole October. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
I want to mean it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't, like, for me, it's very hard. Damn.
Does that have to be a person?
No, it could be anything. Who would you?
Maybe a pumpkin.
Oh, a pumpkin is good.
That's it.
A pumpkin is the owner
The
of October.
pumpkin owns October.
That's a good one.
Afterwards, you can make pumpkin pie. You're going to go to Jack-o'-lantern.
The pumpkin pies. The
Nah, but
pumpkin pie owns
that's
October,
good.
baby.
Think about it. The pumpkin, people go to pumpkin patches. People always get pumpkins and put them on their jack-o'-lanterns, carving. It's like an activity you do with kids. Fucking people smash them. You have people who go to porches and just destroy them shits in the suburbs. They definitely represent, like, without
Everything.
the pumpkin, next in line would be the bat. The bat would be the next thing that represents the fucking month of October, or like
Perfectly.
encapsulates the whole feel of like spooky season.
Yeah.
But the pumpkin, you see a pumpkin, that's also why I think Michael Myers is like that dude, bro.
Yeah.
Michael Myers might be up there, kid.
I
Think about that opening scene. The opening credits to Halloween is a jack-o'-lantern, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
The pumpkin. Yeah, I think it has to be then. I think it's the pumpkin,
yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe, the bat,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
the bat, right? And then I would go maybe fucking Wes Craven.
I mean, we got for real though. We got to show love to the Scream Queens, bro.
Oh yeah, no, but they don't. I'm sorry, but none of them are topping the pumpkin.
Nah, hell no. Just that's honorable mention when it comes to like people who own October in their own field.
Oh, for sure.
Jamie Lee Curtis owned October, bro.
Yeah.
She owns October in terms of
film?
leading ladies.
Easy.
The film. Yeah,
Easy.
I mean, who else does it belong
Dude,
to? Nobody.
A lot of the leading ladies made a lot of horror, bro. From Carrie to fucking Halloween to Alien.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, without them, like,
What's crazy to me
they
is
held
that,
all those
like, Jamie Lee
film
Curtis
series.
was in the first Halloween and the second Halloween, and then she wasn't in anything again until Halloween H2O. And then she came back several times after. It didn't really work out all that great. But the fact that they brought her back like fucking 90 times
Yeah, it shows you that.
goes to show you like
her.
the strength in what she was doing. Also, you have some notable iconic roles like Carrie and, you know, Rosemary's Baby, Poltergeist, Exorcist, that are all associated with October and Halloween.
Yeah.
Spooky shit to watch. But a recurring role, that's something that really wasn't done. Like, it was kind of one and done. A sequel was done. The person from the first movie didn't come
She
back.
held it down.
The closest they came to that was Nev Campbell with Scream. Like, they kept bringing that cast back they did it in like a pretty clever way without it being corny, even when they deviated from the story, you know. But yeah, Jamie Lee gets that honorable mention for sure.
Yeah, I think she rounds out the top 5.
Yeah.
That's a solid top 5. But yo,
Nah, hold on, we bugging. Shit, we forgot one. I forgot one. Candy corn.
Candy corn sucks though.
Nah,
So that shit
candy
ain't
corn
even
does
in the
not
top.
suck.
It's trash.
Candy
Listen, I don't
corn
give a
sucks.
fuck.
He's the
I'll
only
go-
guy I ever
I'll
knew that
go-
like candy corn.
I'll go
bro.
to. All right, but that's because you thinking over here. You feel me? The world is much bigger, kid. Mass produced. That shit is sweet. Sweet magic.
Yo, I love candy so much. I'm diabetic, bro. Candy corn sucks, bro.
No, candy corn
Yeah.
is delicious. Candy corn is delicious. That's why it's still out here, baby.
Yeah, but that, but it ain't topping none of the
People
top
love
5.
candy corn. There's two, but you know what? Yeah, I like the dudes who say mint ice cream tastes like toothpaste.
I know I love mint ice cream. There's nothing. There's
I
no
just want you to
problem
know
with
you
mint
want
ice cream.
I just want you to know you talking just as crazy.
Nah, mint ice cream is delicious. That's probably my favorite ice cream. But candy corn stinks, bro.
Nah, candy corn is delicious.
Candy
bro.
corn
I'll get
is
some
like
right
eating
now.
a fucking wax candle.
Candy
eating
corn
a
is
Glade.
delicious. You had that cheap shit. That's why you need to get that Brox.
The fact that you know a candy corn company, I'm appalled.
You get that Brox, yo, bro. I love
I'm
candy
currently
corn.
appalled right now.
Candy corn.
Candy corn.
Candy corn is delicious.
Candy corn on the list of who owns October is probably like 9th, if you want to put it.
Nah,
anywhere.
that's a hard 6, bro. I'm talking about.
Nah.
Yes, it is.
Candy corn.
You're talking personally, bro. I'm talking worldwide. Mad people love candy corn. That shit is in every illustration you could think of. It's on cards. It's in cartoons.
That's
It's
the
a
only
topic
way
of-
it's good.
It's a topic of is it shitty or not? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it's popular.
It's polarizing.
It's hugely popular.
I'll give
bro.
you this: candy corn is polarizing.
I'll tell you one thing.
What?
I enjoy candy corn more than Edgar Allan Poe. I'm
Motherfucker.
gonna take your word for it on those books.
You read Edgar Allan
Now,
Poe
of course,
shit.
of course.
You never
bro.
read The Raven. You never read
Everybody
Telltale
knows the
Heart?
Raven. That
You
shit.
know The Pit and the Pendulum, The Cat's Eye. You know all this.
Everybody knows all that shit, man. Of course.
So you know what it represents.
And you know what candy corn represents.
That is trash.
Candy corn
Anyway,
is delicious.
guys, we fucking figured out who owns October. It goes to the pumpkin.
Yeah,
Easy, hands down. The pumpkin is the owner of October. Yeah,
yeah. No, I feel good about that.
yeah, me too. I agree. I think
Pumpkin
we're all,
is the that makes perfect
we're in a
sense.
fucking agreement with that. And yeah, guys, we'll be back next week with the Halloween fucking special.
Yeah.
So keep watching. I'm Mario Benitez.
I'm Jose Ortiz. Thanks for being with us today. Check you out next week.